Hey everyone, welcome to today's product research webinar. In today's webinar, we're going to show you some more advanced strategies to help validate product ideas. If you've followed the series previously, you have seen us collect a number of product ideas like the ones here now. We've used Jungle Scout's Opportunity Finder to find these product ideas, and we've evaluated them to find the demand, the competition levels, and also an idea of the profitability of each of these products. What we're going to be talking about today is what is the next step to sort of further verify a product idea. So Jake, what's a bit of a rundown of what we're going to cover today?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head there. So we've already done a lot of product research, right? We now need to do market research. This is where keywords come into play. So we've been doing a lot of keyword research, research here on the average fees, the average price, the average net, and you'll see the average daily sales columns here to verify the level of demand for each product idea we've looked at. And again, we've done this for a lot of products here. And we're now at the point to where if we were going to sell one of these products, we want to further verify the niche of that market. So one of the best ways of doing that is incorporating keywords. You know, Lenny, one of the things that people don't do right away with product research is keyword research. They usually wait until it's time to build their listing or advertise using PPC campaigns, but they don't incorporate keywords in the front with product research. Really, keywords and the keyword data there will really help you find a lot of things that you'll see today that helps determine whether you should or should not sell a product. So I'm excited to get into this today. We're going to use an example here. If you've seen the last episodes, we've talked about a lot of different products here, and I think our favorite was these silicone baby feeding sets so far. Mostly because, and I'll show you what these look like here by I'll click this icon and bring us to Amazon. We like these because of the demand for them was really strong, the competition was really low, and there were so many different variations, so the possibilities of selling this seems realistic, because if you variate your product and make a difference, make a change and an improvement, you could stand out in this market. And just to maybe show you those numbers here real quick, on the overview page here, to the left is all of our ideas here. And then I'm just gonna hone in on the average daily sales. At 15 here for the baby feeding sets. That's not the biggest out of our list here. You can see 20, even 100. But when you come over here to the average reviews, it's under 1,000. So 540 for this niche right now is really, really strong. So we like the combination of the demand and the competition. And now we're just at a point to where we need to verify the market. So that's where we're gonna bring in keyword research.
All right, so we've got the product here, our silicone baby feeding sets. Where do we start? What sort of tools are we using, and what's our first step here?
So our first step here is within Jungle Scout, you can head over to the keyword tab and click Keyword Scout. So this is going to bring up our keyword research tool where we can enter either a keyword or start with a product ASIN. So what I'd recommend doing here in our case, we're gonna run through a demo of what we would look for when verifying the market, as well as the demand for the product we've already discovered. So what we're gonna do now is head back over to Product Tracker, and in this list here, we have, it looks like 12 of the top products in this niche, and we can filter by average daily sales here to get the top products up here at the top. So what I've already done just to save some time is copy all these ASINs for these top products and then added them over into Keyword Scout. So I did this earlier, and one of the biggest pain points is when you're doing keyword research is always having to retype in your search. Like if we sell washable pee pads, I hate always just typing in washable pee pads and just redoing the search. So you'll see here we have a recent searches, and we also save our searches. I didn't do that yet, but that would probably be really helpful to do. But you can actually just use a recent search, and I already entered all 10 of the ASINs in here just to save us a whole lot of time. If I wanted to save it, which we really should do, I can save it and do silicone, or I go feeding sets competitors. And now I can just pull that search up. I don't have to redo that search. So the reason I did that is because we want to see all the keywords that these competitors are ranking for, see how many keywords there are that have over 1,000 monthly searches for. We're trying to verify how many search terms are there out there for this type of product. And then what we do is we're going to do this for this one product, but then we'd recommend doing it for all your products. And that will show you you're able to compare, again, the market instead of just sales estimates. So let's now head over, Lenny, to keyword research here. And I've entered all 10 ASINs here. What's cool is we have these advanced filters up here, which is going to help us today to
Yes.
weed out some of the bad keywords and bring to light what we're trying to find here. And then down below here, it's a search preview. So what's really interesting about Keyword Scout that you don't get with any other tool that I've seen at least is most tools just, you can plug in a couple of ASINs and then you're seeing all the searches for all of those keywords. And that's helpful. Like right now I can see 2,400 keywords for these 10 ASINs here. But
Combined, yep.
Combined, right. But what we could do now is we have this highlighted ASIN here, which helps us compare this ASIN to the other 9 ASINs that we're looking at. So we're able to, if this was our product, see, okay, how are we ranking in comparison to our competitors? Or what I like to do is head back over to Product Tracker here. And we have this column here called Date First Available. It's one of my favorite columns. It's so simple, but it's one of my favorite data points. And what I like to do is I like to find a product that was recently launched.
Yep.
So in this case, March 25th, this product here, 7 daily sales, 210 monthly sales, so it's doing really well. It just launched like a couple months ago. And so that ASIN ends in R7 right there, right? Okay?
Yep.
So with that in mind, I like to go back to Keyword Scout here, find that ASIN, which is right here, R7, click it. And now that's gonna show us all the keywords that this ASIN is ranking for in comparison to the top products in this niche. So now what I can sort of, come up with is, if I was this product and I just launched, how likely is it that I can rank when launching a new product myself? So this is what I love to, start with and really to see how new sellers in this niche are faring against the top competitors. So Lenny, what do you say we do first? One of the, first tabs I think most people use with this tool is the search volume, like just to get the top keywords in place.
Yeah.
What do you say we do that?
I reckon even just like real quick for everyone out there, before we even start with the filters, it's always super helpful if you are looking at this particular product or niche, just to even quickly have a look at what keywords are sort of showing up, or at least the amount of demand. And you can kind of see here that there's a whole bunch of different keywords here that have really high search volumes. Anything in the thousands is really high. And so just real quick, it gives you a bit of an idea that there is demand for this product. The same way that we're using sales estimates to determine the demand for the product, this is just another data point to say that there is a lot of people searching different types of keywords, but for this type of product. So real quick, just a heads up, you can initially just get a general sense of the demand. And now, like you said, Jake, let's kind of start sorting and filtering out some of the keywords. But like you said, I think it's a good place to start with, like, let's look at the top keywords. Yeah,
and this is like really arbitrary. Like we have down here, it looks like 2,400 keywords here that these 10 competitors are ranking for. That's way too many keywords for us, because certainly if I were to, redo this, this over here and sort by the opposite now, high chair for 4-month-old baby, that's not gonna be anything related to our product. So there are a lot of keywords here that these products do rank for, but they're not relevant. And so basically what Keyword Scout's doing is it's saying people type in baby bullet, for example, and end up buying this type of product. That might not be the #1 keyword. I did a quick search on this earlier. I was confused actually.
A brand or something?
It looks like a brand or a type of like food processor for babies.
Okay.
But what's interesting is people probably look at this product, for example, and while they're shopping, they add a feeding set to their cart. And sometimes you can even scroll down on a page like this.
Like a frequently bought with, maybe?
Yeah, you might see like some ideas here of other products, but that's what Keyword Scout is doing. In case you're confused, like another one is Easy Peasy. That's a brand. So
I see.
A lot of people are buying that specific brand. So you might just need to keep an eye out for that. But out of 2,400 keywords, I think you certainly want to narrow down. And like I said earlier, we're trying to find how big this market is. So like, if we use, this is very arbitrary, you can use any number, but I like to personally use above 1,000, an example, and you can do this for broad match or exact match. I like broad since it, can modify your keyword, and maybe not everybody is typing in, silicone plates for baby exactly. So that's why I like using broad match. But if I type that in using 1,000 as the minimum here, now what I'll see is that list go from what, 2,000 to, probably a couple hundred, so 388. So, we have an awesome tool here that we can copy all these keywords and add it to a keyword list, or you can also just use Excel as well and record, okay, there are 388 keywords that or above 1,000 broad matches each month. So that's one way of checking the market, how big it is. But yeah, there's so many different ways that we can do this. What's like one of your favorite filters here, Lenny, to, I guess, see the market and how big it is?
Yeah, well, I think like certainly the broad match filter is really helpful because again, 2,400 keywords, it's not necessarily, doesn't matter how many keywords there are as opposed to like how good they are or the quality of them. So this gives us a much better idea. So far, there's like almost 400 keywords that have a reasonable search volume. So that alone gives us a good sense of kind of the demand for this product.
Yeah.
Next up, let's see. I love that we've got all these filters. It gives us so many different opportunities to, you know, look at different information.
Yeah.
Some of these are going to be more helpful, you know, when it comes to creating a listing or running PPC campaigns and you're wanting to use keywords for those purposes. When it comes to product research and you're just trying to decide whether or not you want to sell a particular product, we'll probably mostly try to focus on those sorts of keywords.
Right.
I think, broad match is a good one. So we've identified keywords that have over 1,000 searches per month. Next up, let's see. Do you think we would go into anything like PPC bid at this point, or
Certainly. Yeah, that's one way of
ease
sort
to
of
rank?
Yeah, those are, so like if we look at advertising, for example, if we're gonna start selling this product, if we're thinking very high level about potentially selling this, we need to know what it looks like on the advertising side. Like how expensive are these keywords? That might not be like a make or break in terms of if you should sell the product or not, but it might be the difference between choosing one product over the other. Like I said, we're just doing this for these silicone baby feeding sets, but as you saw in the product tracker, we had a bunch of products here. So again, you'd want to keep note of this inside of a tool like Product Tracker here, where you can actually take notes on products here. You can click this button here, add notes. Or if you're more of an Excel person, you can use something like Google Sheets here or Excel to keep track of your notes. But I would be curious, Lenny, out of all these keywords here, so we filtered it already by 1,000 broad match, just to get the top search terms, and there's like, what, 300 we saw? How many of those where the estimated bid is, maybe we'll do exact here. We want to try both. Over like, what, $3 maybe, or minimum $3. This is, again, very arbitrary. You'd want to play around with these numbers a lot, but this is going to show us how expensive are these keywords. And so $3 is a pretty significant bid in a lot of categories, especially when you're selling a product in this case, which is, I believe it's like under $30. Yeah, so $25. So a $3 bid isn't that cheap. So out of that, we have 4 keywords. Okay,
Good.
That's pretty good, an exact match. And maybe we want to do the same thing with broad match and see, okay, well, how many are there? It's probably going to be, okay, only 1. So this is interesting. Again, very arbitrary numbers are using 3. We'd probably maybe change it up and keep recording a lot of different numbers here as the minimum. But that's one way to estimate, how hard it is to compete with these products with advertising.
I suppose another idea here, just thinking about it, could be to do the inverse and see what are some good opportunities. So we already know keywords that have high search volumes, but of those, what if we were to put in a highest amount to see maybe which keywords might be sort of opportunities to bid on because they might have lower bids? Do you think something like that would work?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what would be a good number there, like whether it would be like $2 or whether you would go even lower, do you think? This isn't something that I've tried yet, but that's just kind of like maybe another way to think about it.
$2 was the max you're thinking here? Try to find all like the low-cost keywords?
Yeah, and then hopefully there's a lot of results there to the point where you could like keep going lower. So 307, okay, so it's like maybe if you went like $1, just to see like, okay, what are the keywords that are really or much cheaper to bid on, but again, we also know they've got a lot of search volume.
So yeah, 150 there, and that's almost just under half. So like we started with 388 and now we're at 150 here. This is pretty cool. We have a bunch of these metrics over here that we can use as well. We'll get into that as, more. One thing you can do here too, which is interesting, is for any of these keywords like silicone spoon, for example, you can pop it open to see a a historical search volume graph that goes up to 2 years. So I think this is really helpful to another way of looking at demand here. But I do like that inverse idea, Lenny. One thing we can do as well, so we're doing this with advertising. If I reset that back, a super simple way of looking at how many keywords there you can expect to rank for and not compete with these big sellers is using this ease to rank filter here. So you can actually filter by easy. With, again, our 1,000 minimum set, how many of these keywords out of 388, I believe, are easy to rank for? Jungle Scout's basically, so 309, most of these. Jungle Scout's basically looking at all the metrics listed here, using things like how many organic products there are on the page, how many sponsored products there are on the page, the search volume, and all that, the PPC bid amount, and basically displaying in this column, ease to rank, how easy it is to rank for. So you see that column here. We have everything already filtered by easy, but you could very quickly come in here and find the easy or moderate or even hard keywords and then keep track of that. So like 309 keywords, maybe I'd come into Excel or something and say 309 ease to rank keywords. And then again, I have this for silicone baby feeding set, but then we do this for another product and just keep track.
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment, like Jake said, this feels a little bit arbitrary now. Like, none of these numbers are necessarily good or bad. It's more so, it'll be more important when you do this for a number of different product ideas and you're gonna be able to compare them. So I definitely think that's a good number to check, is how many keywords are easy to rank. And then the other that we just did was just like search volume over 1,000. So how many keywords have a search volume over 1,000? So I'd say those are two really good things to then find for all of the product ideas that you're looking at. And then as you're starting to get a few different products, it'll be interesting to see which ones might have more keywords that are easy to rank versus others. Because again, what we've done in product research is we've looked at demand and competition levels. Sometimes you might have products that have really great demand, but maybe it has higher competition than some of the other ideas that you're looking at. However, now, if you've got the context of how many keywords are easy to rank, you might find that a product that has higher competition, maybe it has more keywords that are easier to rank for. So that almost, if overall it's higher competition, but it might be easier to rank for keywords, so that might sort of counteract the higher levels of competition. So
yeah, absolutely.
Kind of a cool strategy or idea to keep in mind.
Yeah, I feel like sales estimates are only half the equation. You start with sales estimates, but when you are getting really serious and potentially going to invest a lot of money into one of these products, you want to know that the market matches the sales estimates. And that's why I really love actually using this pull out here, where you can track. You can see a 30-day search trend right here, which is really helpful to see the present trend of the keywords, whether it's going up or down. But to get more context here, you can go back a year or 2 years and see, is this trend seasonal or what's going on? It's like this keyword right here really spiked for some reason. That's a really generic word, baby cook.
Yeah.
But this is a great way, again, of verifying the market by using keyword data. One thing we just did here briefly, Lenny, that I'd be curious to find. So I reset the filters up here. I believe everything's blank besides 1,000 minimum, which we want to keep, I believe. Remember, this is the the ASIN here that just launched in March of this year, so a couple of months ago, and we're now comparing it with the rest of the 9 competitors that are the top sellers in the niche. So this is going to be what this product is doing. It will be a really good indication of how a new product like yours or ours could compete. So. Maybe just click this icon to see real quick. Okay, he just launched this year. He's got 105 ratings, 3 variations.
Impressive.
Yeah, so 3 variations. That's pretty cool. You can choose, different colors here. Images look really good. So he's definitely this seller's definitely experienced in some aspect. Come down here. Do they have A+ content? Yes, they have really good A+ content.
Nice.
So this is really good to see someone like this who's doing everything right and getting the results based on that. So we have some pretty good competition here, but it's also good to know that a new seller can come and compete with these guys. So what I like to do to confirm that, and we're doing this with one ASIN. I'd probably do this with a couple ASINs to see, maybe I have a list of, going back to the product tracker, of a few products here that have recently launched. Using the date first available column here, I see I have 2022. I can even go back to last year, 2021. A lot of 2022s here, and do the same thing we're about to do. So comparing that ASIN versus the other. So what we can actually do here, there's these advanced filters here under Show More. So up here, these are your standard filters, and then under Show More is your advanced filters. We could do, what I like to do is compare one ASIN versus the other. So what I like to do here is say, so highlighted ASIN relative position. Show me how many keywords this product that just launched, that new product, is ranking no more than the, let's say maybe like 7th spot. So what that's gonna show me now, if I click apply, hopefully, and who knows, that this product is ranking more than 2 other competitors. So where he's ranked 7th out of 10, essentially. And so if I come down here, I see there's 388 keywords where this new product is outranking the other competitors. But another way to do that, I mean, is using these columns up here. So highlighted ASIN rank, you can do it organically, you can do it sponsored, or overall, including all the ads. So let's take that new ASIN again and say, show me all the keywords where he is in the top, let's go top 10, right? So show me all the keywords where he is 10 and below. I can click apply here and see hopefully a big list, but it's probably not gonna be that big. So 66 keywords, where if I go to the organic rank here, this column is showing me for each keyword, so baby utensils, this new seller is ranked 7th.
Wow.
Out of everybody, not just out of these top sellers, which I'm sure these top sellers are in there, but he's ranked 7th for baby utensils. The average competitor rank is 25. I'll maybe zoom in on this so you can see it. So what this means is this product that we're looking at, the new product, is ranked 7th for that search term, and all the other competitors on this list is ranked averaged at 25. So that's a really cool sign to see a new seller come in here and dominate a keyword that has 8,000 basically monthly searches for. But yeah, that's just one way that you can use these advanced filters to see. What I like to do is track how new sellers are faring against the top sellers in the niche. And you can do that again for organic, you can do that for sponsored, or overall as well. Or if you just want to search the other ASINs, you can do it with searched ASINs over here. And anytime you see highlighted ASIN, that's going to show you this ASIN in comparison to the other ASINs. So yeah, and then what we could do is save this as well. So like we didn't do this earlier, Lenny, but we'd probably make sure everything's clear here. Keep our 1,000 monthly minimum. Click apply, and then add all these keywords to a list. So now that we have that 380 keywords, we can add it to a keyword list here. Name it silicone feeding set. Maybe we do like plus 1,000 keywords, just so we keep track of it.
Yep.
And we save that there so we can access it later, but then everything we just did, we should probably make a keyword list as well for it. So you can do ease to rank and do easy, and then save all these keywords. And now you have your ease to rank keywords separate from your hard to rank keywords. And you come down here, you do the exact same thing, you name it ease to rank, and that's just a good way of separating your keywords. And then you're able to compare all your different products together or put it into an Excel sheet like we're doing here. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ways is to look at the market, is to compare new sellers against the existing strong sellers.
Yeah, great. So just to kind of like recap what we've done here, first off, we're able to use Keyword Scout to determine that there's demand for a product. There's a lot of high volume search terms for the particular product that we're looking at. So we verified that. There was lots of search terms there, all with thousands of search volume. There's nearly 400 keywords with over 1,000 search. So we verified the market in that sense. Then the next thing that we did was that we took a fairly new listing that's only been out a few months, and we were basically seeing how well is it performing overall. And there were so many different indicators, even before looking at the keyword, at the different keywords. It's like you could see that they built up like over 100 reviews. We were previously able to see the sales estimates, but then like we just did then, we were able to see that it was ranking really highly for a lot of high volume search terms. What you, I guess, wouldn't want to be seeing here is looking at some of these newer launched products and seeing that, they're not ranking for many keywords, they're essentially not ranking for many keywords, that would be maybe a little bit of a red flag that like, okay, a newer product is struggling to get ranked on keywords and to, subsequently get sales, etc. So that is in and of itself a good exercise analyzing a newer product.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All right.
Lenny, one thing we didn't show here as well is we did this earlier, and we skipped over this because if you've seen the other episodes in this playlist, live product research, we've already talked about this, but I want to show you something real quick is when we did the product research initially based on sales, the main keyword we got out of this was silicone baby feeding set. And so what we can do with Keyword Scout is, I'm going to just duplicate this page to make it easy to go back to. We can type in a keyword, and I already got it saved here, so silicone baby feeding set. And what we actually determined is that term is not the best keyword. So that's what made sense to us because it accurately describes the product. But as you can see here, that only has 302 exact monthly searches and 1,300 broad searches. Whereas I was looking earlier, still suction plates for baby is the main keyword. And we can verify that by, well, first looking at, I guess, the volumes there, but then searching it on Amazon will show you what we're trying to sell here. And suction, there's probably not that many materials that create suction outside of silicone. So this is really helpful for us to see that, this is a keyword and we should be doing all of our sales estimates, moving away from keyword stuff now, sales estimates using this keyword here, or maybe another keyword on this list. But essentially silicone baby feeding set would be good for us to use in terms of getting sales estimates, but we should also probably come back and do it again for suction plates because maybe there are some differences there in the products that show up. So I just wanted to point that out, is finding the right keywords is also really important to so that way your data makes sense and it's accurate.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think we could just real quick do one more example of that. So if we were to come back to Product Tracker here and again, we found these ideas whilst using the Opportunity Finder tool here within Product Research. And now again, what would be another good one where there could be a different keyword that we hadn't found?
Yeah, I mean, car privacy curtains, that sounds pretty standard, but who knows? Maybe there is a different word for that.
Great. So, I guess what we determined is we've got car privacy curtains here. We added all the top listings into that category. So we have, where is that one? So we have,
there we go.
We have 11. Sort of the top 11 products there. And from that, we were able to determine that, on average, they get 20 daily sales. On average, there's about 700 reviews. So we've made determinations on the level of demand and the level of competition, and as well as the net net margins here. Yeah. However, that might change if this isn't the main keyword. So that's why we'll copy this keyword and we'll come back to, and we did save this search, I guess, so we could always type that in here. Now that we're doing that, we'll see other related keywords here. We'll see that car privacy curtains has a pretty low search volume, but car window shades has an insane level of search volume there. So again, looking back at the previous product research that we did, there was opportunities to look at different keywords here. And so then the process would be kind of going back through what we did previously, where we would typically look at this particular keyword here on Amazon. We can run the extension and start to look at the numbers or all of the listings that are ranked on this particular page.
Yeah, and this is actually, you sort of just you're comparing now. So this is a good example or good practice of comparing. So you saw us just do it for the silicone baby feeding sets. And now we came over here and realized, first of all, Len, I don't think any keyword on the silicone baby feeding set was anywhere near 73,000 and 100,000. So what we'd want to do here is, again, add all these keywords, maybe add some filters, and then keep track of how many keywords maybe are plus 1,000 search volume, how many keywords are plus 10,000, how many keywords are plus 50,000, and record that in Jungle Scout with keyword list, and just name it like that. Or if, again, you're an Excel person, you can use Excel to keep track of that. But that is a great example of basically everything we talked about today, but doing it for every product on your list. And then that's another way to compare the market sizes of different products that you're considering.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could just quickly do that using, in particular, those two filters that we talked about. So we're talking about it was broad match search volume with at least 1,000 searches. Apply.
So how many we got here? We had 388 on the last one.
388 on the last one. So this is 437. So there are more keywords here that have high search volume. I would also probably record, if you're jotting down notes in the product tracker or in an Excel spreadsheet, I'd also jot down sort of maybe the top 3 to 5 keywords as well. You know, like in this example, this has got an insane search volume. And like you said, the previous example didn't have any keywords that were anywhere near as high. But now we've also got the number of keywords with over 1,000 searches. And then the other one that we talked about was easy to rank. How many of these are easy to rank for?
Yeah, I think we had like 150 or 130, something, we're in the mid 150.
Right. Here it's saying that there's, you know, nearly all of them, 2,400. So now you can start to see, even just with these two brief examples, that there's quite a difference in terms of the, what would you say, keyword quality or the ability to rank for these keywords and how much search volume is there.
Yeah.
So that information is really interesting to layer on top of the standard, you know, demand, low competition, and profitability estimates that we went through in the product research sections.
Definitely. You know, one thing I just noticed too, we're spending so much time adding these filters back that we keep using. One thing we can do is combine multiple filters. So like, let's say easy to rank, 1,000 monthly searches for, and you know, let's just first off see how many that is. So if we click apply, we'll see 398. Maybe we just want to add one more thing here where the highest PPC bid is $2. So we're gonna see all the inexpensive keywords here. One thing we do, if you find yourself always using the same filters, is come back up here and actually save the filter set. And so what I would probably call this is like, this is probably more so when you're starting to sell a product, you wanna care more about the advertising bids, but maybe call it like high volume, you know, easy to rank, and cheap PPC keywords. So just one way of doing that, saving the filter. That way, when you want to load it back up, you can load filter set, and then it just runs that filters for you. So you don't have to keep adding in these filters. I find a lot of times I do something very similar to this, or when we're going back to like the ASIN, multiple ASIN searches, you get these extra filters down here. There's so many filters to re-enter in. I find myself always saving and loading the same ones back up. Like again, the 1,000 monthly searches, easy to rank. That's gonna be really helpful for you to save you time in this whole process, because you could do this every day, you could do this weekly, especially in the product research stage where you should be spending weeks really narrowing down your product. This is gonna be a time-saving little feature for you.
Absolutely. As a quick reminder, we are here live, so if you do have any questions for us, drop them in the chat and we'll make sure to answer your questions before we finish today. Now, yeah, I mean, I guess what we've been focusing on today is talking about how you can use keyword research and particularly Keyword Scout to assist in sort of the product research stage before you're selling a product. But certainly if we're thinking more about, you know, let's say you've got a product now and you're trying to optimize it, launch it, there's so much that we can do here. So I think probably like the big one that we have already sort of touched on here is like PPC bids and looking at like what keywords would be good for us to bid on that, you know, have low bids and that sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know if it's worth us spending a couple of minutes just maybe talking through any other examples we can think of that would be helpful more so when you're launching or you already have a product.
I think so, yeah. And in fact, we already have it loaded back up here, but we could go to our same filters here. You know, let's see the high volume keywords that are easy to rank for. And let's also try to find this, again, we're comparing this new product against the competitors. We could use some other filters here as well. We used the max bid amount for the exact, so it's $2 there. But we could also see, like, show me all the keywords where this competitor is bidding no more than $2 and he's ranking. So you can look through, maybe we go like, you know, let's give some room to breathe here. So 20. So show us all the keywords where he is ranking in the top 20 with these parameters we set. I'm not expecting to see a lot of keywords. Okay, well, 234 keywords. That's a lot of keywords. So these are all the keywords. Again, this competitor is paying no more than $2, and he's ranking no more. You see, he's ranking 14th for this keyword, 5 for that. There's a lot of rankings here, the dashes. Most likely he's not bidding on it right now, or there's just no data for it, but we can see a lot of keywords here that can inform our product launch, can inform what we do in our title, can inform the keywords that we bid on. So this is kind of where I would start. Again, playing with these numbers a lot, and just you'll see different results here, but this is exactly where I would start. And maybe not baby cook, but baby plates with suction, I can see that's a cheaper keyword. This is a good way to start to build up your list. Again, you can save these keywords, get really specific with your naming conventions so that you can just always pull from that once you start launching the product or you're doing advertising campaigns. But yeah, that's one of my favorite, I guess, strategies for using these filters to narrow down the best, like advertising keywords, for example.
Cool. Yeah, let's see. What other ones could we try out?
Yeah, you can get real fancy with it, and I don't know how much this competitor is ranking. If we get rid of all of our kind of parameters here, except for the minimum search volume, which I think is the most important one here at 1,000, we could say, show me the long tail keywords. So if we do a minimum of 3 words in the word count, that's now going to show us all the keywords with 3 or more words, and typically those keywords are going to be cheaper to spend on, and more likely that you can rank on. So you can add another naming convention to your keyword list, long tail keywords. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best ways of finding those low hanging fruit keywords that you can bid on, or really just add into your listing as well.
Yeah, great. So yeah, you're talking in particular with PPC campaigns where you might have a long tail keyword campaign that you would imagine would be cheaper to bid on.
Yeah, typically you'll find those keywords here. So we have estimates here as well. So you can see here the exact bid amount estimate for these keywords are all below, right here, $2. And this is really helpful to inform your advertising strategy, as well as when you're thinking about products that you could potentially sell. Are they going to be too expensive for you to bid on and rank right away? So you can see that as in broad as well. It slightly goes up in some cases, but yeah, I think this is a great way of basically finding those low-hanging fruits and seeing how many long-tail keywords there are out there.
Absolutely. All right, let me jump into the chat and see if there's any questions. Let's see. There's one here that is, let me see if I can, it's not showing up quite properly. Let's see. Okay, so the question, what is the relation of impressions and market share for any product? I don't know if we need more clarification on that.
Yeah, might need a little more clarification there. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought yeah, you might have to clarify that one, but let's see. Okay, in particular, ask us any questions related to keyword research or product research. Still happy to answer other questions, but we'll try to keep them focused on keywords and product research if you've got those questions about anything that we've covered today so far. Katrina says, hello, your course is so helpful. Learned a lot of stuff from you, so thank you. Glad the course is helpful. By the way, for anyone that's interested, we do have a in-depth course called Freedom Builder Bootcamp, which you can find over at freedombuilderbootcamp.com if you're interested in that. The question here is, if I want to sell stuff for the baby category, do I need some specific certifications? Let's see, I don't. It might depend on the type of product.
And the material, I imagine, as well. Because a lot of times, Amazon will request that you have some sort of documentation about your materials being, BPA free, or some sort of documentation that your materials that your product is using is safe for children. So I know that's something you usually have to add some more documentation, but I don't know about certifications.
Yeah, if you're like, for example, if you were like using bamboo or something like that, you would most likely need yeah, I know what you call it.
Even for silicone, I'd imagine something that you can heat up in the microwave. If we were going to sell this type of product, we'd probably have to supply some sort of document or something saying or proving that it is BPA free or safe for children. So usually maybe it is a certificate, but I just know it's documentation that you have to add for baby products specifically.
Yeah, you would, probably just a good, easy place to start is to start with a Google search. And when it comes to listing on Amazon, some particular categories or products are gated, more meaning that you require approval in order to sell that product. So this is, I guess, a little bit different to certification for materials and things, but it is, a hurdle even before you get to selling the product. And a quick tip there is you can go into Seller Central, click on add a new product in the catalog, and essentially you can search for the category, like type in silicone feeding set or baby set, and then it will basically come up with that category, and it'll tell you if that particular category requires approval or not. That's something that I pretty much do anytime I'm looking to sell a new product, or certainly if I'm a little unsure as to whether I need approval to sell it on Amazon, because there are certain categories that require that. So that's one little tip that could be helpful for you.
Yeah.
Okay, is this product?
Yeah. Also, guys, let us know in the chat if you're using Keyword Scout today, and if you have any questions about using the tool. We do have some other helpful videos and webinars on our channel, so just search Jungle Scout Keyword Research or Keyword Scout, and you'll find a lot of helpful stuff there if you don't have any questions now. But do let us know if you're using the tool or you're thinking about using it. I'd love to hear your thoughts there.
Absolutely. All right, next question. When doing product research, is there a filter to make sure the brand and supplier isn't the same?
Oh.
That's an interesting question.
Similar to our wholesale video where we're looking to make sure that, so if you're doing wholesale, as for context, it's a good practice to make sure you're not going to sell anything where the supplier is also the seller. Because you're most likely not going to get approval from the supplier to also sell that product and compete with them. So I imagine that's what this question is getting towards.
Yeah, I think maybe the questions I think it can also apply to private label too. I know that a concern for a lot of sellers is if it's the supplier themselves. Let's say it's like a supplier in China that is also selling the product on Amazon. It can be quite hard to compete against them if the supplier themselves is the one selling the product. And
makes sense,
you do start to see that a lot more these days. To answer your question, I don't think we have a specific filter for that. Also, if it is the use case where you're thinking about perhaps a supplier in China or in another country that is selling the product on Amazon, typically their company name isn't going to be their brand name anyway. They're typically not going to be the same thing. They would typically create a generic brand name for Amazon that is more just short, user-friendly, or generic. So typically they're not going to be the same anyway, even if it is the supplier that is selling the product on Amazon. So between one of those two use cases, I think that might be what you're getting at. But yeah, just know that those two names aren't going to be the same in most cases anyway.
One thing you can do, and I can see this as being a hack, if you don't mind popping open the screen here.
Yeah.
On Product Database, you can look through the list of products and see, for example, this product here, the brand name is Everest Supply, and the seller under the buy box is Everest Supply. So that's a really good example of the supplier being also the seller. I know it's not a filter. One little hack you probably could do is display 100 results here and download the CSV file. And so what that will allow you to do is actually search for duplicates. So you can actually search for Everest Supply, or you can look and see, do conditional formatting to see if there are any duplicates on the screen. So that's just one little hack you can probably do with the Jungle Scout tool, is download it to a CSV file and do some duplicate searching there.
Nice. Yep. All right, so will you be covering anything within the sports outdoors categories, or can the same practices be carried over for my research? I'll start at the end. Yes, The practices we've talked about today and in our previous episodes can certainly be carried over into any categories. Again, if you've tuned into our previous sessions, we have been working on looking at different categories each time. Today was a little bit different because we wanted to kind of show you some of the great ways that you can use keyword research in addition to your general product research. But thanks for the category idea. For our next session, we'll quite likely go back into a new category. So we'll definitely consider sports and outdoors as a category to go through. If you have any questions specifically related to looking in that category, then let us know. But yeah, in general, a lot of the practices that we talk about can be applied to really any category that you're looking at.
Awesome.
Oh, cool. Brini, I apologize if I said your name wrong, did follow up and said she is referring to wholesale as you stated earlier.
Cool.
So
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, if you haven't, then I'd highly recommend checking out the wholesale videos that we do have on the channel. Just like click into our channel and click search for wholesale, and you'll find some videos there that will hopefully help you out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Can you suggest any distributor or wholesaler for Amazon wholesale in the US?
That's a good question. I don't know if we can suggest one. It really depends on the product you find. Not exactly sure. I know there are some online, suppliers, some websites similar to Alibaba where you can find a lot of different products and direct suppliers on there. Can't remember any of the names, but I do know it's actually something we're going to be looking at here shortly. We're going to actually potentially revisit wholesale coming up here with a new video of how to reach out to suppliers and contact them. So we'll have to dive more into that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. ThomasNet is really I think that's the name of it. Is the only one that sort of comes to mind.
Yeah.
As a place to search for manufacturers in the US.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically it can be fairly limited. So I think, like you said, it's potentially easier to look specifically for your product. Whatever particular product you're interested in, like figure that out first, and then do searches for that US manufacturer or related.
Yeah.
Like it's almost easier maybe to do it on a individual basis than, certainly try thomasnet.com. But yeah, if you don't have any luck there, then I'd just try some individual sort of Google searches.
I've been really fascinated with this topic lately. One thing I've found with just some high-level research is you want to look, specifically in the United States, you want to look by material. So plastic, for example, is a material that the United States generally produces. We may not produce some other type of material that is, you more so see coming out of China or India or some of those other countries. So that was one little finding that I've discovered is look through the type of materials on the product. Could be one of your best bets to find a product as well.
Great. Okay, so we've got another keyword question here. Can we use Keyword Planner for selecting keywords for launching new products? Yeah, so you can absolutely use Keyword Scout to find keywords for launching new products. Really, you would do the exact same thing that we did today. You could you could add in the ASINs for a bunch of your competitors or other products that are the same as the one that you're looking to launch. And then again, that'll generate all of the keywords that those are ranking for. You could then filter that like we did and just say, show me all the keywords that have got over 1,000 search volume. So you're just getting the best keywords. Save that as a list, and you would absolutely use that for your own listing. So you, if you're using Jungle Scout, we have a tool called Listing Builder. And inside of that, you can just build out your listing, import in the keyword list that you've created, and then you can take keywords directly from there and put that into your title, bullet points, description. That's the most ideal way to build out your listing is using all of those high searched relevant keywords.
Yeah, and I think we've done this as well for our own products. We've started in one point and then ended up somewhere completely different, whether we were trying to improve the product or really just continue to find different products to sell. One example that we can do even with this product that we were looking at, the silicone baby feeding sets, is look at other keywords that people are using to buy that product, and maybe we can combine those together and make an improved product, because everybody's selling the same thing. Everybody's selling the plate, the bowl, the utensil set, but if there's something else that people are searching for and buying this product because of, there's a good chance that we can come in, add that to our product, or even just sell that one product. Like in our list here, I know we have baby bowls, we have baby plates, and together, these can be included in a set like we see here, or we can just sell the baby plates or just the bowls. There's utensils here, baby mat. So like this is a really good starting point even for finding products, and you can just go down a rabbit hole and redo your search estimates or your sales estimates based on a new keyword.
Yeah, in fact, I think we were talking about it yesterday, but I believe that was even I think that's the way that we found the latest product that we sell here at Jungle Scout, which is these washable pee pads for dogs. At the time, I'd been doing a lot of different product research, but then I actually believe I went to Keyword Scout to try an alternate way to do some product research, and I think I just typed in something really broad, just like dog or something, and I was just curious, what are the highest searched for terms related to dog? And I think that's where I came up with like dog mat or something like that, which took me down that rabbit hole, and then eventually landed on washable pee pads for dogs. So yeah, it works. Kind of a testament of that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then sort of coming back to using these keywords or keyword lists to launch your product, as we were just briefly talking about before. Let's say this was our keyword list. We've got our top 388 keywords here. We've got it ranked from highest search volume down. Essentially what you can do in Listing Builder is you want to take your top keywords and you want to weave them into your title. So I would probably combine, suction plates for baby, weave in the silicone, wherever it is, like silicone baby set, or like baby feeding supplies. Try to weave in the word weaning, perhaps. It's probably easy to do it inside of Listing Builder, but essentially you're trying to incorporate as many of these keywords into your title is the most valuable spot to put these keywords, and then in your bullet points is the next spot. So an example of a bullet point could be complete set, includes baby plates, baby bowls, and baby spoons. And so that's a way that you've sort of taken a few keywords and sort of joined them together into a readable bullet point. That's a very crude way of explaining it, but you can certainly use these keywords for launching your product.
Yeah, one strategy too that I love is when people are searching for keywords like suction plates for baby plates, they're looking for those keywords. So if it's in your title, that's great, but also your images. So you may want to have an infographic or some sort of text on one of your images, your second or third images, with some of these high search for keywords. Because once people see that keyword, they know they found exactly what they were looking for. So for launching products, for your listing, for advertising campaigns, keyword research is going to be huge for you.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. Well, we have time here for one more question. So let's see here. We've got a question here from Katrina. If in Amazon already, if a brand is already on Amazon with a name that I would like to use, but checking on the USPTO, it's still free, can I use it, or will Amazon not let me? Thanks for the feedback. Okay. So there's a few different things here. As far as Amazon is concerned, they don't really want multiple listings for the same brand. If you've got brand A selling dog pads, they don't want a second listing from brand A dog pads. They want to combine all of those together, and what they want is they want multiple sellers can sell a product, but they want it all to be on the same listing if it's the same brand and the same product. So I'd keep that in mind that, yeah, Amazon wants to consolidate all branded products into one listing. What we recommend and what we often talk about, the private label model, is creating your own separate brand. That way you can create your own listing that you own 100%. That means that you're not sharing it with any other sellers. You're getting 100% of the revenue and the profits from that listing. So personally, I'd recommend having a separate brand. If you can see one on Amazon, but they haven't registered a trademark, you probably could go and, register a trademark. So I guess the way to look at it is on Amazon, you can, well, actually, I was going to say you can just put down any brand name. I don't think you can do that in the brand name section, but once upon a time, you could just put in any brand name. You could just make up a brand name and put it on Amazon. It wasn't really connected to, a trademark or anything like that. So yeah, essentially if someone doesn't have a trademark, you probably could go ahead and get that trademarked and then sort of use that. But to me, I feel like that's just inviting conflict.
Yeah.
Like that could be opening yourself up to, them trying to, I don't know, sue you or come after you for trying to take their name. And typically, if you're just searching USPTO for free, it might seem like that trademark is available, but really the only way to be sure that a name's not trademarked or that you're not infringing upon a trademark is to get legal advice, get a lawyer, hire a lawyer to do some investigation for you. It's not easy, I guess, for the average person to know all this stuff. You really need a lawyer to like verify for you whether you would be infringing on that trademark or not. So I would definitely not just check USPTO. I would definitely get a lawyer if you're interested in going after a brand name that's already on Amazon. But my personal preference would be I would just choose another name. I don't think, in my opinion, the actual name itself isn't super important in my opinion. It's more about like the quality of the product and then like what you do with that brand name than the actual brand name itself. So I'd personally steer clear of any names that are already existing, and I would just kind of find another one. But if you do want to go down that path, I would consult a lawyer first, because you don't. The last thing you want to do is, spend money on a trademark, or worse, spend money on inventory and branding and all of this to only get sued down the track and have to, move away from that brand later on. I don't know if you've got different thoughts or other advice.
Yeah, right on the head there. I wouldn't probably mess with that. It's more of a gray area. I would probably just focus on finding the same product, just rebranding it to your own.
Alrighty, well, we're gonna wrap things up there for today. Looks like we've just hit the hour. Really appreciate you all joining us today. Hope you've got some value from today's live stream. If you have, then make sure to hit that like button down below to let us know. And make sure you subscribe to the channel as well so you get notified when we do future live streams. Thank you again all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.